Alrighty, last week I shared with you that we were going to be focusing on parts of the brain. Today we're going to take a look at 3 parts of the brain. We're going to focus on 2 of them specifically. Okay, some of them will be familiar to you from our work last week, but we're going to go over the parts of the brain and what they control. Okay, Ms. Sousa, why do I care about the parts of my brain? Great questions, kid. I'm glad you asked. When you understand what happens in your brain, you are better prepared or more able to respond appropriately. Okay, so when you understand what happens when you're angry in your brain, then you're going to be able to understand how to calm that down. When you understand what happens in your brain when you're feeling happy, you're going to be able to replicate those situations more often. Okay, so we're looking at how our brains work so that we can use that to our advantage in life. All righty. So I have prepared a video because I'm much more able to show you a lot via video than with my screen clicking around everywhere. So we're going to take a look at parts of your brain, and then we will have some exploration activities to work on together.
Hey there. Today we're going to talk about the really awesome parts of your brain. The first part that we're going to talk about is the prefrontal cortex. The reason we're talking about this first is because when you think about your brain, that's usually the part that you're thinking about. In fact, the reason that you're thinking is because of your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is in charge of your thoughts and emotions. So when you're trying to solve that really hard math problem, that's happening right here in the front section of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. Okay? When you're feeling sad or frustrated, that is felt right here in the front section of your brain, or the prefrontal cortex. Then we move on into our hippocampus. The hippocampus is the memory section of your brain. It's the reason why when you see your friend's face, you don't run and hide because you remember that that person is kind to you. It's also the reason that you know you had mac and cheese last night, and why when you saw that bowl of mac and cheese, you didn't grab it and try to rub it all over your body. Not only would that be weird, but your hippocampus helped you remember that that is food for you to eat. Then we move on to the amygdala. The amygdala is this tinier section right here, and it's in charge of the emotional responses. Now, don't be fooled by the fact that it's so tiny. The amygdala may be tiny, but it's pretty mighty. It's in charge of really powerful stressful responses that we're going to talk about next. Now, these fancy names are awesome, but they're kind of hard to remember, so I like to think of them as these characters. Tex is our prefrontal cortex, and she works as that sheriff of our brain, helping keep things in order. Then we move on to Hippo, the hippocampus, and as we shared, he kind of works as a librarian in keeping the memory portion of your brain in order. Finally, we have Amy, the amygdala. And Amy is pretty crazy. She's a jumpy superhero, but she's in charge of those responses to stressful emotions, so she can be trained to come in and save the day. Let's talk about some of those parts a little more in depth. Tex is the smart sheriff. The prefrontal cortex, which you see here, or Tex for short, is a newer part of our brain that helps us deal with emotions and make wise decisions. Tex figures out stuff for you and helps you to make good choices. She's there to stop you from doing crazy things for your own good. Tex is like a smart sheriff in your brain. But what happens when Tex isn't around? Well, we can thank Amy, the jumpy superhero, for that. Amy, or the amygdala, is like a jumpy superhero who tries to protect you at all costs, but often mistakes stress for real threats and effectively stops Tex from doing her job. So a lot of times, Amy can jump in the way of Tex and stop her. Now, why do we have something like this going on in our fancy brains? Well, that's because the brain has 2 possibilities. There are things that can stress the brain, and there are things that can calm the brain. I'm sure you've experienced this in your life. Some things that cause the brain stress are worry, fear, pain, being embarrassed, sadness, and anger. When Amy knows that any of these things are going on, she jumps into action. Now, on the same token, we have events that can calm our brains. Breathing helps to calm our brain. Resting helps to calm our brain. Taking sips of water. Saying our feelings out loud like we learned in second steps. Meditating, and a strategy called tapping that we'll look at. So what happens when Amy takes over and we have that stressful response? Well, it's over and it's done. Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding. You guys know better than that. Be hopeful. You can do this. When we have those stressful responses, such as fear, anger, embarrassment, sadness, we can train our brain with mindfulness. And that is the focus of today's lesson. Today, you'll practice being mindful so that you can help Amy be a little bit more helpful to Tex and keeping your brain in order. Take a look at your lesson together.
All right, so we've got some parts of our brain. Quick review are on the slides for you if you would like to view them later on. But again, this is what our brain looks like in cartoon form with the different parts, okay? Then we have a cartoonized version with the superheroes. These superhero names are going to be very familiar to you. We're going to work with them for the next several weeks. So let's get into what they mean. If you would please, on Seesaw, click your activities bulb, and you will see the new activity titled Mindfulness, Knowing Your Brain. All right, click on that add response. It says we're going to watch the instructional video done. Then we are going to take a look at some slides here for you to explore your brain. All right. So as you can see, we have 5 steps to managing big emotions. I shared with you guys that the reason we are looking at parts of our brain is so we can understand how to control those responses that our brain causes. Okay, responses can be positive, negative, or neutral, and all of it happens in our brain. Okay, so we're going to take a look today at what we can do when our brain is enduring stress. Okay, when it feels frustrated, when it feels worried, such as for an eye read test, what can we do to help it? Okay, so listen to me first. Take a look at this slide here. I want you to look at the graphic as you listen.
Hey there, welcome back. Now we're going to take some steps to look at what we can do when our brain is under stress. Some of these strategies will sound familiar to you from our second steps work and from your champion tips. Some of them, like the strategy you'll learn on slide 2, are probably new to you. Right now, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and imagine you using these 5 steps to managing big emotions that I'm going to read.
Close your eyes, feel comfortable. I feel comfortable, so I'm going to keep my eyes closed and I'm going to imagine what it's saying.
Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Be present and listen. When we experience big emotions, there are 5 things that we can do. The first thing is to remind ourselves that it is never okay to hurt others. This may be a natural response to us, and it might even seem like it makes sense, but that doesn't mean that it's okay. A second thing we can do is take 3 deep breaths or slowly count to 10. This is a familiar strategy to us from second steps. A third thing we can do is use my words to say how I feel and what I wish would happen. That sounds an awful lot like naming our problem and using the problem-solving steps. A fourth thing we can do is ask for help to solve the problem. Some problems might be too big for us to solve. Some problems might need extra people to solve if what we're doing isn't working. A fifth thing that we can do is take time to calm down. I know for me, Mrs. Sousa, I need time a lot. Time is a strategy that I use to calm myself down often. Did you make it? That was about a minute long. Were your eyes closed? Were you focused? If not, that's okay. We'll build up our stamina for this. On this slide, I'd like for you to think about the next time your brain is under stress. What is a strategy that you can use to manage your emotions? Also, think about some things that you will not do when your brain is under stress. An example comes from our poster. Hurting someone else is not okay, even if we're under stress. What are some other things that are not okay to do when we're under stress? Type your responses on this slide.
All right, so we've talked a lot this year about calming strategies and about what we can do to help our brain when it is feeling stress of some kind. I want you to take some time on slide 1 to write down an idea of next time your brain is under stress. So I'd like for you to think about these 5 ideas. Remind myself that it's never okay to hurt others. Take 3 deep breaths or count slowly to 10. Use my words to say how I feel and what I wish would happen. Ask for help to solve the problem. And take time to calm down. Right now, go ahead and write down what you would like to try or what you know works for you next time your brain is under stress. So go ahead and grab a text box and type your answer right here. Now that you have taken some time to write down what you will do when your brain is under stress, now I want you to write down some things that you will not do when your brain is under stress. Ms. Sousa, why am I writing down what I will not do? The reason we are writing down what we will not do is because when we know what is wrong beforehand, we are less likely to do that thing. Thank you. We are less likely to do that thing in the future. Okay, so if I say, no matter how bad my sister gets on her nerves, I am not going to hit her. Right now, my sister's not on my nerves. But when she gets on my nerves, I've already decided I am not going to do this. So it's going to be fresh in my mind and I'm not going to be so quick to react. Okay, so what are some things that we should not do when we're under stress? So like I said, hitting. Some things I will not do when my brain is under stress are hitting. Do we have other ideas of what is not okay when we are stressed? Terrence?
Hurt somebody.
Huh?
Hurt somebody.
Hurting somebody? Okay. What are some other things that are not okay when we are stressed? William?
Throwing a temper tantrum, like throwing stuff, yelling at everybody.
Yep. So throwing things. Throwing things is not okay. I'll let you in on a little secret. I actually have these kind of planning meetings when I have students in person. A lot of times there can be really stressful situations as a teacher, right? And so one of the things that I tell myself every year, I sit down and I go through and I actually make a list, things I'm going to do, things I'm not going to do. And one of the things that I say I'm not going to do is yell. I am not a teacher that yells. And I used to be a teacher that yells, but one day I decided, you know what? I don't want my students to yell at me, so I should not be yelling at them if I am feeling stressed. So that's a decision that I make. That's also a decision that we make in my family. My husband and I have decided, even when we're arguing or we have disagreements, yelling is not a choice. We are not going to yell at each other. So I try to make it my best effort to not yell when I'm under stress. That's a personal example for me. Leah, an example?
Also treat someone that you want to be treated.
Yeah, so maybe when we are under stress, we will not be mean, right? Because we don't like it when people are mean to us, so we don't want to do that back to them. Terrence, another idea?
Yes. My dad does the same thing.
He comes up with a list of what's not okay.
Yeah.
It's a great strategy. When we're able to plan for our experiences, we're able to be more in control when those experiences happen. When we don't have a plan for them, we just kind of do whatever comes to mind. But if we thought about them before they occur, then we know it's going to be okay. All right, so you can copy some of those if you'd like. If you had other ideas, please feel free to write those down. Maybe you have a personal experience of something that you don't like to do or have done to you. You can write that down as well. All right. Terrence, a question?
Mine on the next time my brain is under stress, I will play the game.
Oh, yeah. a distracting activity. Sometimes we just need to get our mind off of things. I do that with running. So if I'm feeling stressed, I normally will go for a run as well. Yep. And some people can play video games. Yeah. Exercise is a great strategy. Sometimes people will play video games and other activities just to get their mind off of it for a little bit and then come back to the problem when they feel that they can focus on it better. It's a wonderful strategy. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at slide 2. This is a strategy that, guys, I got to apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm just now teaching it to you. Tapping is a strategy that I normally try to teach right at the beginning of the year. And with it being a virtual format, I just completely forgot. So we're going to take a look at it today. All right, learn about a calming strategy that is proven to calm our brains. Tapping. Before you watch, how are you feeling? What stress is on your brain? Okay, so before you watch, how are you feeling? What stress is on your brain? I want you to go ahead and add what you're feeling and what stress might be on your brain. So for me right now, it's I read testing. That has me a little bit stressed out. So for me, the stress that is on my brain is I read testing. And then I shared with you guys another little personal thing that is on my brain is that my son is starting daycare. Axel going to a new daycare. That's stressful to me because it's something new. It's something that I'm not used to. So those are two stresses that are on my brain. You go ahead and type what's on your brain. Okay, what are you worried about? What are you stressed about? Axel going to new daycare probably isn't a stress for you because he's not your son, but maybe you have something else that is. Okay, so write down right now, how are you feeling? What stress is on your brain? Go ahead and type those out. Now that you have thought about some things that might be bothering you, stressing you, worrying you, I want you to take a look at this video. As you're participating in this video, I did not know that was going to happen. All right. We're going to take a look at this video. I'd like for you to participate. We're all doing it. Everybody's doing this together. So there's nothing that anybody's looking at you for something that other people aren't doing, because everybody's going to be following along with this, okay? All righty, here we go. Restart.
Everyone, and welcome to the Tapping Solution Foundation's tapping videos. Before you begin your day, it is important for you to feel like you are ready to learn. Sometimes we have other things on our mind, whether something happened at home before school that you are thinking about, or maybe a conversation you had with a friend. You could be worrying about something coming up today in school, like a presentation, a test, or maybe making new friends at recess. Whatever it may be, it is important that you take some time to think about what is on your mind and then choose to be ready to learn. We are going to tap together to help us start off our day. It's easy. Copy the moves I do and repeat after me. Before we begin tapping, how are you feeling right now? Rate your feeling on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 feeling calm, and 10 having the most concerns about your day. Or you can show with your hands how much, whether you have really strong feelings or are feeling calmer. Recognizing how you feel on a scale will help you notice any improvements after tapping. Say your number out loud or show the scale with your hands. Take a deep breath in and out. Let's start. Even though I am thinking about something else, I am happy to be here.
Okay, so take a look. She's going to show you what to do. This strategy is called tapping, and there is a lot of brain science behind this, showing that it helps to soothe the brain. So she'll show you what to do. Feel free to follow along.
Even though I can have trouble focusing, I choose to be the best I can. Even though I may be worried about something, I am a great kid and I am okay. I have something else on my mind. It can make it hard to concentrate. so many things I am thinking about. It is okay to feel that way. I care, and I'm a great kid. It is okay to choose to focus now. It is important to be a member of the class. And I am a great kid. I like being around others. Being in school means I can see my friends. Even if I feel worried or I'm thinking of something else. I can still choose to pay attention. I choose to enjoy my day. I choose to feel excited about what's coming. I am lucky to learn new things. And I am a great kid. Let's do one more round. School is a great place for me. There's no need to worry when I'm here. So many smiling faces. I choose to enjoy my day. I am lucky to learn new things. I don't need to worry about other things. I am ready to learn. I am a great kid. Now take a deep breath in and let it out. Rate how you are feeling again, using the 0 to 10 scale or this much with your hands. Say your number out loud or show with your hands now. Now you've done it. Do you feel ready to take on the day? It is okay to have other feelings or thoughts, but it is also important to make sure your brain is ready for learning. By tapping, you have helped to train your brain to be ready for the day. A day full of friends, new learning, and lots of fun. Let's start our day.
All right. On Seesaw, you were asked to think about how you felt before watching the video, and now I'd like for you to write how you're feeling now. So how did your brain change? What are you feeling? Go ahead and type that response now. Take a private moment to get that done. Okay, I shared how I am feeling now is now I feel ready, and I know that it will be okay. Is there anyone else who would like to share with their words how their brain changed? Before they were feeling this way, now they are feeling this way. Maybe like to share with their words. Aiden G.
So I put kind, happy, and brave because I'm happy because I have a home, family, and mom, and I'm brave to protect my house and to protect my family, and I'm kind to my family and my mom.
Okay, so that kind of caused you to reflect on some positive elements and let you refocus on things that you're grateful for. Awesome. Terrence, would you like to share?
Sleepy.
You feel more relaxed, more sleepy now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No.
No what?
I was sleepy before.
So you're still feeling that way?
Kind of.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad it didn't add to your stress. William.
I feel a lot more calm.
Feel a lot more calm. Good. One of the things that I've noticed as I've taught tapping over the year is there's usually spots that work better for other people. So like for me, this one doesn't help me, but I had a kid last year who would just kind of hug himself and tap right there. And he felt like it was a private thing that other people couldn't see what he was doing. And he liked that. And he also liked that it felt like he was embracing himself. So he would just kind of like right underneath his arm, he would hug and just tap like this. And that really helped him. For me, my tapping zones are right here. My husband can often tell like, oh, Steph, it needs a minute, because I'll just kind of sit on the couch and I'll just, lean on that arm and I'll just feel this. And this is how I calm myself. So this tapping zone feels better for me. So I encourage you to try to figure out, like, does this one help me? Sometimes they make us feel silly. Like, I don't like this one either because I can't see people because my eyes are right in front of my face. But other people like to not see people. They like when it just feels like it's just me. So that can be good as well. Leah, you had your hand up. Did you want to share?
So I'm worried about eye read testing and growing up. But the video didn't work for me.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for being honest and sharing. We all have different things that work for us, and we just got to figure out our strategies. Hopefully you can find a way to relax. You'll be great. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to ask you, if you are done, please click on that green check. If you are not done, please click that orange check to save your work as a draft. I am done, so I'm going to click that green check and turn this in. Okay.